With increasing air traffic, robust safety procedures or protocols and regulations, the hurricane incident highlights Nigeria's growing aviation industry's progress in safety and professionalism. Joining me now is Captain Alex Badeh Jr., the Director General, Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau. Thanks and very warm welcome to Newsnight.
Evening, Christian.
Thank you. Your bureau has described it, or ARIG too has described it as engine abnormally. But the ordinary Nigerian may just look at it that was a miracle. A plane descending to land at Port Harcourt Airport with such engine abnormally now, moved to Benin Airport.
Yeah.
Is that professionalism or a miracle?
Well, before I answer that, I'll first have to say good job by the flight crew for handling this as they were trained professionally as well. This is opportunity meets preparedness. They've trained for this. We train for this as pilots every 6 months. And this was textbook with what happened. The statement said anomaly. This is actually a serious incident with that engine. There's been known issues with this. Southwest happened in 2018, where unfortunately a lady lost her life. Very similar circumstances to this. There was another one in 2024 as well. And there's been a series of others as well. And the Federal Aviation Authority, European Airspace Safety Agency, EASA, issued airworthiness directives in this regard to very similar incidents, except with what happened with Arik Air a few days ago. And the NCA as well did issue an AOL, all operators letter, letting all operators know in Nigeria to comply with certain things with regards to this issue. So again, like I said, good job by the crew. This could have potentially been worse, but thankfully they did as they were trained and landed safely.
Yeah, good job indeed. I mean, it shows their professional acumen there, just like you've highlighted. But how safe would you really say the Nigerian airspace is? I mean, with the myriads or far in between, though, of crashes here and there. You have near misses. Near misses are no crashes, and they are probably underreported in Nigeria and the rest. But how safe would you want to say the Nigerian airspace is?
I wouldn't put a number to that, but again, near misses are near misses. I mean, they're still, for me, this is a little too close for comfort. So, I mean, I think there should be some introspection and, we should look deeper into practices of these airlines as well. So I won't speak on how safe or not how safe it is. Fortunately, we've not had a crash, but again, incidents are coming one too many. So we need to look deeper and, into practice on what's going on with the airlines as well.
And what kind of safety measure does your bureau put in place? I mean, you talked about regular training and retraining of the pilots, on incidents like this and the rest. They are not foreseen. But,
no, we put out safety recommendations. Of course, enforcement of these safety recommendations lies with the regulator. So again, we try to follow up on these safety recommendations that we put out, and we have a working group with the regulator. But what I begin to see is they're very slow to be implemented. By bureaucracy, funds, just a whole myriad of things.
The aviation industry shouldn't be toyed with when it comes to, funding it, because it's quite fundamental to the socio-economic development of any country.
I do agree. And for us at the Bureau as well, which is, again, with everything is funded, especially funding, because sometimes you have to follow up on these things. You need more investigators trained. And, there's a lot of follow-up with these safety recommendations as well, not just, because when we say the regulators, it's their job to enforce. I think we need, we as a bureau as well, probably need to step in a bit more, kind of get out of our comfort lane just to try to see that these things are followed through as well. But again, we need more investigators. We need more funding to do these things as well. But again, I wouldn't, again, on the issue of safety, I know everybody, again, tries to be as safe as possible, but I always say, even if there's a 1% chance, that's 1% too much, or 1% too many, or too close for comfort. So I would like to see a total 100%. I'd like to see a whole year without an incident or serious incident in our Nigerian airspace, at least.
So that brings me to the question again: how bad would you say it is? I know you don't want to put a finger,
Again,
and you don't want to put a
1%
finger
is
to
pretty
numbers
bad. I
here,
always
but
say
how bad?
1%, again, a 1% is pretty bad.
Yeah.
For me. I mean, even for this, said there was an airworthiness directive, so we're going to be looking to see if that was followed properly. Because this is pretty similar. It's a pretty similar and known issue, so we're going to be looking deeper into that to see if that airworthiness directive was adhered to strictly. But there's a lot of pressure on these airlines, operating here. Things are getting better, with the reforms of the Honorable Minister for Aviation, the president as well, But it's still, it's a very expensive business, and we're going to be looking deeper into these practices.
And what kind of safety measures, are you putting in place now? Where you look at the age of the aircraft, although sometimes experts in that industry say no, the age doesn't really
No,
matter.
this airplane is not old. This airplane, again, I don't want to come out and say age have nothing to do with it, but this was not a very old airplane. We have way older airplanes flying all around the world, and even in our own airspace, and this is one of the newer ones out there, actually.
Okay, let's look at your key mandate again, Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau. The Nigerian public, some feel that your results over investigations of plane crashes or weather near misses and the rest, are not usually made known to the public, or they take so long a time and the rest.
Yes.
Why
Well, I
is
mean,
that?
they are made known to the public. They're published on our website. I think we probably need to spend more time on advocacy as well, which is what we plan to do. We did a bit of it last year, but even these things are pretty pricey, so we'll try again this year just to put them out there. As for the length and time our reports take to come, I will take responsibility for that, because yes, that is totally atrocious. We're going past, a year for some of them, or even two, I think. And I've been talking to my investigators and pushing them to put out more reports quicker. But again, the buck stops at my table as the head of the agency, so I'll take responsibility for that. And this year there will be more deliberate action to get them out sooner. I will say last year, if you were paying attention, we did publish quite a few reports that had been languishing for years and years, and it just takes a while to get those things, especially going back to the archives. Sometimes you have to find this paperwork again. Sometimes you're almost done, you think you're there, you have to start all over again. Because as much as it's a scientific endeavor, the human factor comes in there. Some people, sometimes some people have different opinions on certain things. So, we're trying to clean that and fix that. So this year will be more deliberate, and we have actually quite a few reports ready for publishing. So we'll make a bit more noise, and hopefully we'll invite you there. So
all right, that'll be great. Okay, just before we'll let you go in a moment, I just want to ask you, have you put in new measures about passengers' safety, particularly arising from in-flight conflagrations and commotions and fights like we saw last year at the airport?
That's not for the NSIB, that's for the regulator.
Okay.
We only come in when there's a accidents and all that. So that's the NCA.
But I'm sure all the agencies of the aviation ministry are cooperating on safety of the Nigerian passengers, or passengers generally in the
That is our job. That's our number one job, actually. So it's our only job.
Right. Thanks so very much. Alex Badeh Jr. is the Director General of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau. Thanks.
Christian, thank you for having me.
Cheers.